The day had started quietly in Brookside, a sleepy little town where neighbors still waved to each other from across their driveways and kids rode bikes down tree-lined streets. The late summer sun was beginning to sink, casting an orange glow that made everything feel warm and peaceful. But for Officer Ryan Matthews, that peace shattered in an instant. He had just pulled his patrol car to the curb, running over in his mind the simple dinner he'd make when he got home. When he heard it, the unmistakable sound of hurried footsteps. Small ones, fast, uneven, and behind them, a sound that struck him harder than any siren could, the high, broken sobs of a child in distress. Ryan turned his head, scanning the street. That's when he saw her. She was tiny, maybe 6 or 7, wearing a bright pink dress now damp with sweat and streaked with dirt. Her face was blotchy from crying, her hair clinging in messy strands to her flushed cheeks. Tears rolled freely down her face, her little hands clenched into fists as she ran. She didn't slow until she was right in front of him, gasping for air, her whole body trembling. "Please, please follow me home," she blurted out, her voice raw from crying. "It's my mommy, something's wrong." Ryan immediately swung open the car door and crouched down to meet her at eye level. His voice was calm, even though his pulse had quickened. Hey, you're safe now. I'm Officer Ryan. Can you tell me your name?" "Emma," she sniffled, still struggling to catch her breath. "Please hurry." "All right, Emma, I'm right behind you. Show me where to go." Before he could say more, Emma spun around and started running again, her little feet slapping against the pavement. Ryan followed, his boots pounding the asphalt. The evening breeze whipped past them, but the golden light of sunset was quickly being swallowed by shadows. They passed neat houses with manicured lawns, but soon the surroundings began to change. Sidewalks cracked, yards were overgrown, paint peeled from front porches. The air felt heavier here, not from the weather, but from something else. Finally, Emma turned sharply down a narrow side street and stopped in front of a small, weather-beaten 2-story house. The front door hung slightly ajar, creaking softly in the wind. "She's inside," Emma whispered, her voice breaking. "She fell, and she won't wake up." Ryan's instincts kicked in. One hand hovered near his radio as he stepped inside. The air smelled faintly of mildew and stale coffee. The living room was cramped and dimly lit by the fading sunlight through thin curtains. Dishes sat stacked in the sink, unopened bills lay in a messy pile on the counter, and a single blanket lay crumpled on the couch. On the floor, next to a toppled chair, was a woman in her early 30s. Her long brown hair fanned across the worn carpet, her skin ghostly pale. She was breathing, but barely. "Ma'am, can you hear me?" Ryan said as he knelt beside her. No response. He looked at Emma, whose wide, tear-filled eyes were locked on her mother. "Emma, I need you to tell me, did she take any medicine today? Anything at all?" Emma shook her head frantically. "No, she just said she felt dizzy. She sat down for a minute, and then she just fell. I tried to wake her up. I didn't know what to do, so I ran until I saw you." Ryan's heart squeezed at her words. "You did the right thing, Emma. You were very brave." He pressed the button on his shoulder mic. "Dispatch, I need an ambulance at 47 Brookside Lane. Adult female, unresponsive but breathing, possible head injury or collapse." As he waited, he gently moved Emma to the side and kept monitoring her mother. He noticed dark circles under the woman's eyes, the thinness in her face, signs of someone pushing themselves far beyond exhaustion. Within minutes, the distant wail of sirens filled the air. Paramedics arrived and quickly assessed her, attaching monitors and starting oxygen. Emma held her mother's limp hand the whole time, her small frame shaking as tears fell silently onto the carpet. When the medics lifted her onto a stretcher, Emma let out a panicked cry. "Wait, I want to go with her." One of the medics looked at Ryan. "She can ride in the front if you want to follow us." Ryan nodded. "Go on, Emma, I'll be right behind you." At the hospital, doctors quickly determined that Emma's mother, Anna, had suffered a severe drop in blood pressure, worsened by dehydration and exhaustion. She had been working double shifts at a local diner, skipping meals, and pushing herself until her body simply couldn't keep going. That night while Anna was treated, Ryan sat with Emma in the waiting room. She told him everything, how her father had left when she was 3, how her mom was all she had, how sometimes they'd go to bed hungry, but her mom would still smile and say, "We're okay, baby, we've got each other." Ryan listened, his heart heavy but his mind already turning over ways to help. Over the next week, he visited often. He brought coloring books for Emma, small meals for Anna, and even spoke to a local community outreach program to arrange support for them, groceries, help with bills, and counseling. 2 weeks later, Anna was well enough to leave the hospital. She found Ryan waiting in the lobby with a grocery bag in one hand and a stuffed bunny in the other. "For emergencies," he told Emma with a wink, "but I hope you never need to run for help again." Emma smiled shyly and clutched the bunny to her chest. "Thank you for following me," she said softly. And as Ryan watched mother and daughter walk out of the hospital hand in hand, he realized something. Sometimes, the most important calls aren't the ones that come over the radio. They're the ones carried in the desperate voice of a child begging you to follow.